welcome back to my channel. Today in this quick video I'm going to check the Avatar HD Pro Kit by Walksnail. The version that I'm going to show you in this video features a low light sensitive camera similar to the recently discontinued Caddx Polar, and besides this version you can also get the Avatar HD Kit V2, which I'm going to feature in an upcoming video. This version also features the latest version of the Avatar VTX, which has been redesigned, and an upgraded camera that features a 2K sensor with a native aspect ratio of 4:3. In addition, the Avatar HD Kit V2 is available in two versions, one without gyroflow, so no gyro chip, and with a built-in storage of 8GB, and another version with a built-in gyro chip, so it will support gyroflow just like the HD Pro Kit, which I'm going to show you in this video, and it also features an upgraded storage of 32GB. First of all, in terms of packaging, here you can see everything that comes inside the box of the Avatar HD Pro Kit. So you are getting a quick start guide, a USB cable which is used for accessing the internal storage of the VTX unit, a bag with a harness that is connected to a 4-pins JST connector, M2 screws and 4 plastic washers, a 15 cm long MIPI cable, the camera unit and the VTX unit, which by the way were all pre-connected, so I just disconnected the MIPI cable so I can show you all the parts separately. And you are also getting a single LHCP antenna that is using an IPX connector. That brings me to the first difference between the new VTX and the previous one, which I'm pretty sure is now going to be discontinued. Unlike the older VTX, which is using two antennas, now the new VTX is using a single antenna. According to Caddx, the RF performance is going to be upgraded, and hopefully soon I will be able to check it out. The next difference is that now, in addition to 25.5 by 25.5mm mounting options on both sides of the VTX, you can find 20 by 20mm mounts, which is very useful. In addition to the 4-pins JST connector, which is used for connecting the VTX to a flight controller, you can also find 4 soldering pads, which is great, as in case the connector breaks, you can simply use these pads. In addition, the new VTX is using a smaller JST connector for connecting the VTX to a computer using the provided USB cable. The built-in storage has been upgraded, so the Pro version features a built-in storage of 32GB as opposed to the 8GB of built-in storage on the older VTX. And as I've mentioned earlier, the V2 version is available either with 8GB of storage or 32GB. The board itself now seems to be more durable and better protected. So as you can see, for example, the bind button, which is located over here, is better protected than the one on the older VTX. And finally, on supported versions, including the Pro version, gyroflow is supported, so you'll be able to stabilize your flight footage using gyroflow in post-processing, as the camera features a built-in gyro chip. The rest of the specs, besides the dimensions which are slightly different, and I'm going to get to it in a moment, remained completely the same, which means that the output power options of both older and newer VTXs are completely identical. So the maximum output power after applying the FCC hack is 1200 milliwatts, and both VTXs can be powered directly with up to 6S batteries. Now, in case you have an older VTX or you just want to use the new cameras with the mini VTX, it is possible, but it will require you to update the VTX to the latest firmware, which is going to be released by Caddx, and then you will be able to use these VTXs with the new camera. And in case the camera features a built-in gyro chip, the GCSV file that contains the gyro data is going to be saved on the VTX, and then you'll be able to use it in order to stabilize the footage using the gyroflow application. In terms of dimensions, the new VTX weighs 19 grams, so it is a few grams heavier than the older VTX, and the outer dimensions of both VTXs are very similar, although the new VTX is a bit thicker, so its thickness is 9.5 millimeters without the 20 by 20 millimeters M2 mounts and 10.8 millimeters including them. In comparison, the thickness of the older VTX is 9 millimeters. As for the new antenna, it weighs 2.1 grams, so it is lighter than the two antennas that are used by the previous model. The Pro camera unit weighs 9.5 grams and its outer dimensions are 19 by 19 by 24.7 millimeters, and the total weight of the Pro Kit version is 31.7 grams. In comparison, the previous version weighs 26.5 grams and the non-gyroflow 8GB V2 version weighs 29.2 grams. Now, in case you're interested, here is a closer look on the Pro camera unit without the back cover and after removing the camera lens. As you can see, it comes with an IR filter and it features a 16 by 9 image sensor as opposed to the new V2 camera that features a 4x3 camera sensor. As for gyroflow stabilization, here you can see the settings that you will need to use in order to stabilize your flight footage using the gyroflow application, and pay attention that since the gyro sensor is built into the camera module, in case it is going to be rotated, you will need to adjust the gyro orientation. The next thing that I've done is to assemble the Pro camera unit along with the new VTX module on this new Cinelog 20 build, which I'm going to feature in an upcoming video. Overall, I can tell you that I'm quite impressed with the low-light performance of this camera. You can see on the following side-by-side comparison video how it compares with the Insta360 Go 2. So where the video is almost pitch black on the Go 2, we can still get a very good image on the Pro camera. And I think that this camera is pretty much at par with the Caddx Polar, which unfortunately I no longer have. And I think that it's worth mentioning that the Avatar Pro camera is a 1080p 60 frames per second / 720p 120 frames per second camera, whereas the Caddx Polar is limited to 720p 60 frames per second. In addition, as for the VTX upgrades, I think that the new VTX does feel more secured and robust. Regarding the RF performance, I will need to conduct more tests in order to see how using a single antenna compares to using two antennas, and maybe other reviewers are going to do a better job on that part. On the test flight, I didn't feel much difference, but I didn't really go far, so hopefully somebody will be able to test the system to its limit in order to see what is the maximum range they can get with a single antenna. I also think that the upgraded storage is great to have, as 32 gigabytes of course are better than having just 8 gigabytes of memory. Unfortunately, you will still need to power the VTX in order to get your data from the onboard storage, unlike the DJI O3 system, which enables you to just power it using the USB cable, and then you can download the footage, or you can just use the micro SD card, which the VTX doesn't have. So maybe on the next version they are going to integrate a micro SD card slot. Who knows, maybe it's going to happen, and then it will be easier to get your flight footage instead of having to power the VTX whenever you want to do it. Remember that if you are going to download a lot of data, the VTX might overheat, so make sure that it gets enough ventilation when it's powered up on the bench. And finally, unlike the 25.5 by 25.5 millimeters mounting holes, which go all the way to the other side, the 20 by 20 millimeters mounting holes are not going all the way to the other side, so you have two groups, one on each side, so make sure not to over tight your screws as the threads are going to be damaged. Anyway, now I'm going to wrap up this video with some flight footage. I hope this video was informative enough, but of course, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section down below. I wish you all happy flying, and I'll see you soon on my next videos. Goodbye.